start like that. Lantis, hi everybody. I gotta get my shit together. Hold on. Okay, so hear me out. Listen. First of all, welcome to another stream of Phantasy Star Online Blueburst. I'm Leon Starcrest, your chronically belated host for the stream. But I came in laughing because I saw like right as I was about to hit the go live button, I saw Lantis put a little begging emote. That is super cute. I don't have it, so I can't post it right now for you guys to see it. But Lantis, if you're there, that made me laugh really hard. The Neko beg. They're like, please tell me he's going live. Because of course, yeah, there it is. Because of course I'm 15 minutes late, because I'm always fucking late. Because I don't know, I've been cursed these past like 2 to 3 months with chronic lateness. Just too much shit keeps piling up at the last second. This is one of those incidents where I was actually gonna go live right on time, and then nature called. So I think from now on I'm gonna start trying to aim for. I did this yesterday too. I think I'm gonna start trying to start my stream 15 minutes earlier for things like that, basically. I'm gonna aim to start 15 minutes earlier, so then if something happens like right before I go live, then I'll only be 15 minutes late, so I'll be right on time. Lantis says I'm getting ready for bed. Yeah, this is pretty late for you too. And I am gonna try to roll back my stream schedule to, well, right now for me it's 7. It's 7:17 right now. I'm gonna try to roll it back to 6 o'clock if I can, now that I'm only doing 3 days a week when I do PSO2. I can't promise that this week though, because this week I'm streaming this every day. But going forward, I'm gonna try to roll it back. Excuse me. We'll see what happens. Thank you, Lantis. I appreciate you stopping by just to say hi and let me know. I really like the little begging mode. That was good. But yeah, have a good night, Lantis. Hope you sleep well. And thank you for wishing me well on the Dragon Loops. Dragon Loops cereal. That's gonna be my first merchandise. Dragon Loops cereal. Gonna be good. Oh, I don't think this game. Are we gonna have tech issues right off the bat? I don't think the game is detecting my controller. No, it's not. Wait. Oh, it is. Okay, for a minute I thought it wasn't going to. Yeah, have a wonderful night, Lantis. Good night. But yeah, that was pretty funny. I was starting my stream and I just saw the little... Please! Oof. Yeah, hopefully I can get my streams back to... Well, again, for my time zone, 6 o'clock, which is an hour earlier than this. Someday, you know. The dream. It's out there, I just have to reach out and grasp it. Anyway, enough of this palaver. Oh, that's right, the Halloween stuff. That's gonna be one hell of an intro. When somebody clicks on this YouTube video, they're gonna be like, what the fuck? Like, cause right off the bat, it's just gonna be insane laughter, like, you know? And like, what the hell is going on here?
Oh shit, here we go again.
That's right, CJ, here we go again. Okay, I'm just making sure everything's set up correctly. I don't want to like start these Dragon Loops cereal and then realize something was muted, so I was just being sure. Okay, yeah, we're good. Okay, let's kick some ass. I hit the play button, come on. There. This is I believe this is the soundtrack we left off on at the end of the last stream, so. Oh yeah, I've even commented that it was panic-inducing music. Whew. I'm still dwelling on it. That was a pretty funny intro. I don't think I've ever started. That's the first time I've started a stream with that soundboard effect too. So we need 821,000 for the next level. I don't think we'll level up this stream, but we should probably, hopefully level up next stream though. For sure. I think so. I think I am gonna do what I was saying though. For those who do occasionally cast the stream live, I think I am gonna start aiming for. Oh, we missed the ticker. Oops. I think I am gonna start aiming for like starting the stream at least like 15 minutes before the actual start time. So if I schedule it for like 7 o'clock, I'm gonna go for 6:45. If I schedule it for 6, I'm gonna go for 5:45. Because I have noticed an almost consistent trend. This happens like right. This is behind the scenes stuff I'm saying right now. I have noticed an almost consistent trend that like right as I'm about to start the stream, like I'm setting up everything on my computer, and then I'll be like, oh shit, I forgot this or that, and it's usually something small, but significant enough that it causes a delay by like 5 to 10 minutes. So it's like, and that seems to happen almost every time. Like I'll forget, you know, I didn't plug in the microphone or the camera yet, or it's giving me issues, like unexpected technical issues that happen occasionally, like the camera's not turning on and I have to do that, you know? Mercy! Oh, we missed a good ticker, I think. He says, Woosa! Congrats! Lucky bastard. Damn, we missed something good. Whatever that ticker was right before I came into this boss fight is what she's probably referring to. I doubt she's watching this, but if you are, hi Mercy. I actually got to meet her when she joined one of Pizza Maid's blooper streams like a week or two ago. She joined the very next stream that Pizza Maid did. She joined there too. She was actually playing in the game, so I got to see what Game Master's little name tags look like in the party. It's this like light blue color on their name. And I also found out what kind of modding powers that they have. Mercy showcased some of that. She doesn't need passwords to enter password protected rooms, which makes sense, right? a moderator would be able to enter any room to see what the fuck's going on if somebody's breaking the rules. We also got to see that happen live. Nothing happened on like Pizza stream or anything, but you know, they were playing together. I was just in the chat being a meme lord. And then Mercy just stopped moving for a minute, and we all thought she went AFK, but then she mentioned that she had gotten like a report of somebody doing something bad, basically. And she was basically moderating. She was doing her job. She was having to find out what the hell was going on, the you know, details of the incident, and I don't think she had to swing the ban hammer, but she hinted at the fact that she almost had to. Yeah, she's a really good bean, though. She's really nice. It was fun getting to meet her. I was sad I wasn't able to... unfortunately, I was too busy. I was only able to watch the stream. I was sad I wasn't able to actually like join in and play. Would have been nice to play with her and Pizza. But yeah, I wasn't able to. But hey, maybe we'll see her again. That's the bad thing. If a ticker pops up at this moment, I have to skip it because this is a crucial moment right here. If I stop, they will overwhelm me. Like I have to go. I can't stop right there. Once I'm gunning for that portal, that's it. I'm going in, you know? Now I'm just gonna be curious forever for what that ticker was. I also found that Mercy speaks Spanish. I was like, oh hey. She's speaking my language. It was a mild Rush Hour 2 reference. Oh, nobody understands the words coming out of your mouth, man. Jesus. I want to say... I could just be cognitive bias, but I feel like a movie like that, even by today's standards, is still relatively tame, but yet it would still definitely get canceled. It would still definitely get canceled. Thinking about relativism right now, like the relativity of things, more like not the concept of relativism, but like if I look back at like a movie from the 80s, which I was definitely before my time, even back in like when I was a kid, like in the 2000s, or even if I look back at it now, I would think, okay, the humor is kind of, you know, like I would think it's like mildly. It would feel mildly outdated or kind of edgy, some of the humor, but not really. Like I wouldn't think it would be like cancel worthy, to be honest. But again, that's just me though. That's what I'm getting at. Is this me? From my perspective, I feel like it's, you know, it's a lot of the stuff in 80s movies was also pretty tame, honestly. I don't think it's between then and like the 2000s and even now, honestly. And so when I look back at like comedy movies or action comedy movies from the 2000s or the 90s by the lens of today, 2025, I feel it's the same. It's just kind of like, sure, like some of the comedy's a little outdated, but it's still like, I feel like it's still pretty tame, you know? Like it's not that big of a deal per se. But we all know the internet, and when I say cancelable, when I say it's still cancelable despite that, I'm referring to like, you know, the perspective of chronically online social media degenerates, you know, the people who cancel everything basically. I mean, that's the thing, is it kind of loses its weight when literally everything is just like that, you know? Everything touches a nerve for somebody. So like eventually got to the point, things like that eventually got to the point where a lot of people were like, oh no, anyway, like whenever you hear something got canceled, these days I think there's more outrage about people. It's not even so much like movies and TV or anything like that anymore. It's people now. It's just people. Like, it's just big personalities. You know. And what I mean by that, like, I don't think I'm. But then again, I'm not one of those chronically online, stuck on social media degenerates. Like, I actively avoid Twitter and related sites for this reason. But from a little I've seen, yeah, I don't really hear about like things getting canceled. You know, like events or movies and stuff like that. It's more so people getting canceled is what I mean. But again, at this point, that culture's gotten so repetitive, I just kind of go, oh no, alright, whatever. You know, it's just kind of one of those things. I know she went to bed, but before I forget, there we go. A shout out to Lantis Grayfield for being awesome, but also for coming by to say hi right before bed. I appreciate that very much. Ew. Man, switching from the FF10 soundtrack to FF11 is a little jarring. It's a totally different musical style. Going from a single-player RPG to an MMO. And that's not necessarily the reason why it's different. But I think it does play a part a little bit. I feel like with FF11, it was Square Enix's very first MMO, I think. Or at least Final Fantasy MMO. Might have actually been their first, considering it's like early 2000s. I don't know though. Anyway, but I think they were trying to go for that classic like Final Fantasy vibe in a way, because they were creating a game that would finally like unite the entire fan base in a way and get them to be able to meet each other and interact with each other in an actual game. It was their first multiplayer Final Fantasy game, online multiplayer Final Fantasy game. So it was a big deal, you know. I feel like that's the vibe they were kind of going for. And then I feel like FF14 sort of tried to echo FF11. Like if you hear a lot of the soundtrack from FF14, A Realm Reborn specifically, it sounds similar to this. It has a very similar vibe to what we're hearing right now, which is FF11. Now, FF14 1.0 though, no, totally different. Nobuo Uematsu was, at that point in time, did most of FF14 1.0 soundtrack. Which a lot of those tracks are still in the actual FF14 game now, but they're in more obscure places like Eureka and... Like, they're not in, like... A lot of the tracks are not actually in the main, like, through line of the game. You have to go to, like... They're in, like, some of the optional content stuff. Some of the tracks from 1.0, but they're still there. But anyway, so a lot of the 1.0 soundtracks, Nobuo Uematsu did most of them, and he was still very much, I believe, his musical style was still like what he had for his band, the Black Mages, which I don't know if he still runs that band or not. He might not. I think it was called the Black Mages. Yeah, he had a band called the Black Mages. And it was very like hard rock. It was very hard rock style, and you hear a lot of that in the 1.0 soundtrack for FF14, which is on this playlist. We'll get there. Sort of talking ahead of a time because we're gonna hear it, but yeah, it's nothing like this. This, what we're hearing now, which is still FF11, it's more like what happened after that, like with Realm Reborn and beyond, where a lot of the music was handed over to Soken, Masayoshi Soken. Nobuo Uematsu still did the main theme, and of course most of the music in Realm Reborn is derived off the main theme, but Soken was the one who actually made all the music outside of the main theme, basically. One of 1.0's reused soundtracks is Thancred's theme song. So that one's by Nobuo Uematsu, which I think it's called Twilight Over Thanalan. Yeah, I think we heard that one already when I played the other FF14 playlist. Yeah, it's good stuff though. Some places where I've heard the 1.0 soundtrack in FF14, certain fates, it plays during certain fate battles, like boss fate battles, in certain regions of the game. They'll play like the 1.0 boss music a little bit. And I believe, like I said, I think I heard some of those tracks in some of the fates for like Eureka. I still haven't done Bozja yet. I'm hoping to eventually get it done, but Eureka I did complete that, and I filmed the whole story. I will be showing that on my next playthrough of FF14. I'll show it on stream when it becomes appropriate in the storyline. But yeah, I heard a lot. I heard some 1.0 music there. I feel like there's somewhere else. I just can't remember where I've personally heard it, but I just can't remember where. It's like sort of on the edge of my mind. I think maybe one of the deep dungeons, like Palace of the Dead or something. Maybe, but I don't know. Either way, it's in like obscure optional content like that. The stuff most like new players won't even touch until they finish the story. That's basically what I consider like obscure content. Like, I feel like a lot of new players, when they play FF14, they'll either just do the main story, or they'll maybe branch out to some of the side quest stuff like the raids or the Alliance raids. Especially because the first set of Alliance raids are required for the main story, and then that's it though. They won't really branch out further than that. But maybe a few players will do like some extra dungeons. But most, I feel, will never do like Deep Dungeon or Eureka or Bozja at all until they've actually completed like everything else I already said. You know, like the main story, the raids, the Alliance raids, all that stuff. And then they'll actually probably go check out that stuff later. My first playthrough, again, I didn't film it, but I hadn't decided to be a streamer yet, really. Like I would do it on and off, and only with certain games. Like I think that I did the Resident Evil franchise marathon and that was it. So I hadn't decided if I was going to stream 14 yet, because I didn't even know if I was going to like it. I've said this before. But I didn't stream my first playthrough up to all the way through Stormblood. But my ex-girlfriend, who I met on FF14 at that time, she encouraged me to stream Shadowbringers, my first playthrough of Shadowbringers, and I'm really glad that I did. Because Shadowbringers and Endwalker both hit pretty different for me, so I'm glad I was able to preserve my first time reaction to those two expansions. They were definitely a huge step up in quality compared to everything that came before that. Realm Reborn, Heavensward, and Stormblood. So if you go look at my FF14 playlist on YouTube, it starts with Shadowbringers. It starts with my very first playthrough of Shadowbringers. It's so out of order because of that. And then I think after that it goes into Realm Reborn, Heavensward, Stormblood, then Shadowbringers again, second playthrough, and then Endwalker for the first playthrough of Endwalker, which is my favorite. It loops back to Realm Reborn after the first playthrough of Shadowbringers because I decided to... Damn it, I hit the wrong button. Because I decided on the run-up to the release of Endwalker, I decided to do an entire Final Fantasy marathon for all the main games. So Final Fantasy 1, 2, 3, all of them. I watched a lot of them, especially the NES era, because the graphics and the gameplay were just not my thing for those, for 1 through 6. The gameplay was too grindy. The graphics are too outdated for me to be immersed enough to enjoy it. So we just watched them on YouTube. So yeah, so we just watched them on YouTube, but still. I had to lower the volume. But yeah, that's why it loops back around like that. I think I have two playlists. One should be for the entire Final Fantasy franchise, and then one is just for FF14, I believe. They're both really long playlists, but they're there. Alright, that was FF11 soundtrack. Now we're on to 12s. I think I only have like a couple, like a small handful of songs for this one. In fact, this might be the only one. No. We got 1, 2, 3, 4. You know what I need to add to this? I just thought about it. I don't have the one... Why should I gotta look at... I don't even know if he... I don't know if there's an exclusive boss track for Yasmat. The optional super boss in FF12. I don't remember, but I want to look it up because I think if there is one, I think it's the one they actually use for, well, the same boss fight in FF14. I found out later that if you play the original FF12, Yasmat has so much HP, it can take up to, I think it was like 12 hours to defeat it. Even doing optimal DPS, because the damage is capped at 9,999, and even if you're doing that, no, it wasn't 12 hours, it wasn't that bad. I remember. Even if you're doing damage cap with all your characters, like 10,000 basically, consistently over and over, and you got the mechanics down enough that you can just like pummel him, it still takes about 4 hours, I believe, to kill him, not 12. I wish it was about like 4 hours to kill him. Maybe it's a little longer, somewhere in between, maybe? The actual number could be between 4 and 12 or something like that. But it was long enough that they actually allow you to... The game doesn't tell you this, but you can actually just stop fighting, run into the next room, and make a save, and then come back on a different day to load up the save file, go back into the boss arena, and keep fighting from where you left off. Like, his health bars... I think his health bars will restore a little bit, but not too much. But the fun fact I learned about that later from somebody else after I played through FF14 on stream, specifically Stormblood, when this came up. I think he said that Yasmat in the Alliance raid in FF14 has the same amount of HP. And I was like, wow. What a difference it makes, right? The fact that he had the same amount of HP, but when you're fighting him with... How many people are in an Alliance raid? 8, 12... Wait. 8, 12... Oh, 24, yeah. 24 people. So there's 24 characters in an Alliance raid, right? The difference between having a party of 3, which is FF12, versus a party of 24. You kill them in roughly 15 to 20 minutes or less. Yeah, maybe even less than that. The fight only lasts like 10 minutes, I think. On average. It's just like, you kill them in 10 to 15 minutes with 25 people. And also your DPS is, for each character, is also way faster than like the battle speed in FF12, you know? So all of that adds up, and it's just like, it reduces a 4-hour fight to 10 minutes. A 4-hour fight gets reduced to 10 minutes. Just by having 22 extra motherfuckers doing way faster DPS, way more damage than just 10,000 every hit. Fucking adds up. Holy shit. The crits. Yasmat is a giant dragon too, so this conversation is fitting for this. I'll have to verify that though. I want to see if it was actually true. That before the Endwalker stat crunch, Yasmat actually had the same amount of HP in FF14 as he did in FF12. Oh, by the way, for anybody who's new to the Final Fantasy franchise, and you know, it might sound insane that I just mentioned there's a 4-hour boss fight or whatever. It's not that bad anymore with the modern version of FF12, which is called the Zodiac Age or something like that. I played it on stream because the damage cap, there is no damage cap anymore, or at least it's not set to 10,000 anymore, and you can easily make your characters break that damage cap. So if you know the right strat, you can do way more than that. So you can actually kill Yasmat in about 1 to 2 hours now, maybe even less. It still takes at least like 1 hour, I believe, or so, but I mean, it's drastically faster than it used to be, which is like 4+ hours. There's a big difference between 1 hour and 4 hours. All I gotta do is look back at my FF12 VOD where I defeated Yasmat. That's also on my YouTube, so I just gotta go look at it and see how long the fight actually was. But I do believe it took up my entire stream that day. Maybe not though, because I think back in those days I was still streaming longer. I would still do like 5-hour streams sometimes back then. So, I don't know. I'll go look though. Kinda curious now. Even though Soken kind of remastered the FF12 soundtracks for FF14, they sound almost identical. Almost. There's the differences are super subtle. You can hear the differences between like the FF8 or 6 or 5 soundtracks in FF14 a lot bigger because those games obviously had a different sound chip. But FF12 already, you know, as you can hear right now, very high quality orchestra soundtracks just like FF14, so you almost don't even hear the difference. The sound quality is basically the same. The instruments, you know? But when you take music from FF like 1 through 6, you put it into 14, you're turning a chiptune, an 8-bit soundtrack from the NES era or the Super Nintendo era, 16-bit, into a full-on orchestra soundtrack. It's obviously the difference is like night and day. It's an enormous difference, you know? But a soundtrack that was already in orchestra form, getting just a, you know, a slight touch-up, you're hardly even gonna notice it. This one has some noticeable differences though. But that's because this song appears in multiple Final Fantasy games and it's slightly different in each one. The battle on the big bridge. But again, because this is the FF12 version, the composition and quality sound, it's not identical, but it sounds super similar to the FF14 version of, well, the same fight with the same character, you know, same soundtrack. It's slightly different, but I feel like it's more noticeable, the difference, compared to like the other FF12 music that appears in FF14. The difference is not as noticeable, I feel. But this one, it's like, yeah, I can tell I'm listening to the FF12 version of this song right now and not the 14 one. The other tracks? No. Sometimes I'm like, wait, which one is this? Unless I'm looking at it on my playlist, I won't know if it's the 14 version or the 12 version. The struggle for freedom. Oh yeah, I forgot. This is the last boss fight music. I forgot it actually has a very, very slow ramp up. Because it's a 9-minute song. It's 8 minutes and 51 seconds and we're 1 minute in. Just over a minute in. Takes a while before it actually starts properly. I think it's because they made the track start in the cutscene leading into the boss fight, and that's why. And that's what we're hearing right now. Like this part of the track plays when the characters are talking shit. And the dude's about to, you know, transform and shit and turn into his final form and try to kill us all, like...
He's pulling his cock out!
I already forgot that whole, like... a lot of FF12 is forgettable for me, I gotta say. The most memorable part is the optional content. You know, the endgame, like, super boss stuff. Because FF12's gameplay is actually pretty interesting and engaging towards the end. Starts off really feeling very clunky at the beginning, but once you really get it, it's actually pretty fun towards the end. But the story is very, the story though, it's bland throughout the whole game. It's pretty generic feeling. It's like a Realm Reborn, basically. It's that quality, the whole game. I want to say. I've heard it takes a lot of inspiration from, like, I mean, most people would say it's just a copy paste of the narrative from Star Wars. Like the first 3 episodes of Star Wars that released. Not episodes 1 through 3, but, you know, the original 3-part series of Star Wars, I believe. Or maybe people said it was just one of the movies. I would know if I'd actually watched the damn movies, but I haven't, so I don't know. They were either referring to one movie in particular or the whole original run of the franchise, you know, from like back in the 80s. Here comes the good part. I nailed it. What do I get for driving with my eyes closed? Shit. Scraping the wall. I almost whistled. I almost whistled by accident there. I can't do it. I can't whistle on purpose. I can only do it on accident. It's a known thing. No matter how hard I try, I cannot whistle with intent. It's only by accident. Specifically, I know I can do it when I yawn. If I yawn during the exhale, if I close my mouth, you know, like that, and I exhale like that, it comes out like a whistle. I haven't tried this in years though, so it might not work. But I'll try it next time I yawn. My body's faking me out, making me think I'm gonna yawn and then I don't. I think if you're waiting for it, it doesn't happen. See? It's faking me out. I kept thinking that was gonna be it, and then nope, no yawn. Fuck! See, I just yawned and I totally forgot. It's when you're not expecting it, god damn it. I missed my chance. Shit. I was distracted thinking about some other bullshit and then I realized I just yawned and I was like, fuck. Fuck! FF13 soundtrack. Okay, so for FF12 I only had four songs, I believe. So 4 tracks. 2, 3, 4, yeah. This one I only have 2. There's literally only 2 songs that I actually remembered or cared about in that game. That's in my FF marathon too. We watched all three Final Fantasy 13 games, which was very difficult because they're like copywritten to this day. Like, if you try to look up a no commentary playthrough or any kind of... Oh shit. Psst. There's a room named Help Please, says Mercy. Anyone? Art? She didn't say which block though. Which block, Mercy? Which block? Yeah, we watched the entire run, but yeah, like, they have like... Specifically, like, the ending of FF13 and a lot of the music, I think is, well, the music not so much. I think it's literally the cutscenes themselves. And especially the ending itself is very censored on YouTube. It's hard to find it. It's hard to find a good quality version of it. Like, usually you can only find, like, very blurry quality. And yeah, like I said, it's very, like, I'll find videos where it says you can't watch this, like, you can't even play this in your region, or... Like, it's heavily copywritten and censored. I don't know. It's the only Final Fantasy game that's like that, as far as I know. Can't do it anymore. It used to work. It was almost a whistle, but it wasn't a whistle. Close. But I remember that time. I was like, oh, I'm yawning. Time to do it. Didn't happen. Jessica! We saw her yesterday too, I think. Dun, dun, dun. Damn, I can't do it anymore. Also remember, my yawns were a little different back then though too. Maybe that had something to do with it. Like I used to have longer, more sustained yawns when I was able to whistle with them. And these last two yawns were very like quick. So. Supersonic 540, have I? Have I met you before in a different streamer's chat maybe? They said, hey, are we farming Dragon Slayer? No. I'm literally just farming for EXP. But hi, Supersonic. Your name seems very familiar to me. I feel like we've met. I'm just farming for EXP. I think I found more Dragon Slayers doing very hard mode though.
A test of your reflexes.
I think I've turned them all in for points now, but I think I found like 20 or 30 back then. Once I switched over to ultimate mode, not really. I haven't found that many at all anymore. You know what though? The other thing was back then I didn't know the shortcut to getting into the boss, and I was still killing the fucking Boombas outside who dropped the Dragon Slayers. I'm often in PSL streams that might be... Yeah, I feel like I've seen your name and... Do you by chance happen to follow a Pizza Mate? Or Sarzak, maybe? I might have seen you in one of those. There's Jessica. Either way, I hope you're having a good night. Thank you for coming by and saying hi. Appreciate it. Like 1 HP, really? The dude survived with 1 HP. You hear that? It was close, wasn't it? That was almost a whistle. Oh, okay. Said possibly it's rude to me, but I more follow the category than a lot of the individuals. It's either... I see, it's either that or there's somebody else running around with the name Sonic. And I might be confusing it with somebody else. It's 12 p.m. for you in Japan? Oh shit, you're in Japan! Well, good afternoon. Or should I say good noon? 8:07 p.m. for me, which is indeed, speaking of FF14, there's a soundtrack right there. Yeah, it's 12:06 p.m. in Osaka right now. I think there's another Supersonic in the PSL Watcher Realms. Yeah, I might be getting you confused with him because... Yeah, I don't know. Either way, thank you for coming by though. Appreciate it. Hope you're doing well. See, this is what I was talking about earlier. The FF14 1.0 soundtrack right here. Starts off with some hard rock by Nobu and Matsu. Yeah, I think I've heard this boss fight on Fate bosses in FF14. I believe. Turning this shit up though. This is good. There we go. I can't do that too much with my head because I'll give myself a headache, but... Oh! Shit. I'll come back for it. Go, go, go! So if anybody's curious about the names of the tracks, because these are absolute bangers. The first one was called Nail of the Heavens. This one's called In the Shadow of the Colossus. I can't help it, man. It's a bop. I wish they'd use more of this soundtrack in FF14 even now. Only a small handful of these are still used in, like I said before, obscure side content. Reminded myself of Shake from Aqua Teen Hunger Force. There it is. I whistled for like a microsecond. It came out. But if I try to do it without yawning... Oh, okay, I got kind of close. Usually nothing happens. Maybe I'll finally learn to whistle at some point during these streams. A world first for me. This one's called Bathed in Woodson. I'm gonna take a bath in the sin of the woods. Shit. Got carried away there. There we go. Thought of I was about to say I should get an emote of one of my characters doing like, you know, the devil horns and like thing in their head. And then I thought about it some more right as I was about to say something, and I pictured Alice, my bunny girl from FF14. I pictured her because she has really long ass hair. I pictured her just going like just banging her head so hard that her massive fucking hair is just like whipping hella hard, like right past her ears and shit. The bunny ears, you know? What's this one? Quicksand. Straight to the point. I'm assuming Bathed in Woodson probably played like in, you know, Gridania. That area. The Black Shroud, basically. The forest area. This probably plays somewhere in Thanalan. Ender says, sorry for the quick lag spike. Updating cookie quests with quest board option to disable B and W filter. What the hell is that? Black and white filter? Wait, is there a black and white filter for like a screen filter for when you do the Halloween quest? I believe Ender is the person who like basically owns the Affinia servers, or at least the person who runs them for the most part. Like that's one of the head honchos basically. For the Affinia server. I'll learn to whistle. I just have to yawn enough times, and it'll happen.
Bruh.
I think we got one more run, and then I'm good. This music. Hey, a dragon's claw. Lance's favorite. All right. That's alright. She's asleep already. She didn't hear that. She don't know. I'm gonna go put it away right now though, because I'm not gonna remember to do it before next stream. I never do. That was the last kill of the night anyway. This one's called Desert Moon Defied. Desert Moon Defied. Next track I think is actually I think the next track actually does play in Realm Reborn. We won't be hearing it tonight though, because I'm about to sign off, so put that away. Yep. Alright, we're good. Alright, that's all from me for now, folks. I was about to say for tonight. Same thing. But as always, thank y'all very much for watching. I appreciate the support across all platforms. I definitely had a lot more to say today. I think I was rambling about different things for like the entirety of this stream as compared to last stream where I was just like dead quiet the whole time. Which is why I put up Ultima-chan. Ultima waifu. But yeah, I'm out for now, so yeah, thank y'all for watching. As always, please do take care of yourselves, stay safe, don't die, all that good stuff. And until next time, I hope you all have a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, and good night. I'll see you all then. Peace. Alright. Let's try this again. We're bowing out, so send it out in style, Vaughn. Here we go.
You son of a bitch.
Close enough. Close enough.
Look at this dude.